What's going on, guys? BC coming back at you guys with another Transformers from a casual's perspective. And once again, I got my boy here.
Yo.
So, we're going to start with... I've gotten quite a few new additions to the collection lately, but before I review any of it, since I already knew for a fact I was coming out to Madison, Wisconsin, I figured, why not do another one of these since you guys really enjoyed the first one? So, with that said, we're going to start with these two figures, and it's going to be super simple. Take a look at each one and tell me which one you think visually looks better.
Definitely the one on the right. The sleeker design is just a lot more appealing than the one on the left. You know, it's got a lot going on, but it's too bulky. I think the bulkiness doesn't really lend itself well to the level of detail, whereas on the right, that sleeker design, especially in the chest plate and the wings, that's just, just more appealing. It's sharper.
Well, naturally, the one on the right should have that sharper look because the one on the left came out back in 2009. That was the Revenge of the Fallen Leader Class Optimus Prime, which is still one of my favorite toys in my collection. I'm never getting rid of that, even if I'm old and gray. The one on the right is the Masterpiece Movie Optimus, which, if like me saying Masterpiece, should kind of already give it away. It's supposed to have that slick, sleek, detailed look to it. So naturally, hands down, as far as what looks better, the Masterpiece should look better. But each figure serves its own purpose entirely because of the fact that some people may not like this over amount of detail where it looks as if he just walked right off the screen. You can kind of get the same thing here, but there's more gimmicks with him.
Alright, fair enough.
So, with that said, I'm going to take these two off set. I'm going to bring them over here. And then we're going to go ahead and bring in these two. This is... Now, granted, I have the Perfect Effect Core Magnus attached to this one, but this is the Combiner Wars Leader Class Ultra Magnus and the Siege Leader Class Ultra Magnus. From a visual standpoint of these two figures, who looks the best? Just from staring at them straight on, which one pops to you more?
I'm going to go with the one on the right again because I actually think the darker blue complements the overall color scheme much better. The lighter blue on the left just feels tacky to me. Like, it feels a little cheaper. Like, it gives it more of a like low-grade plastic kind of look. And just the fact that I feel like the colors are a lot more condensed on the right. They flow better as a pattern, where on the left it's more just, we've got a color palette, let's just kind of slap ranges of those given colors that they're using. So it's a little, it's kind of like they had enough room for cool detail, but there's cooler details on the one on the right. That just seems like a wasted opportunity for the one on the left.
Yeah, bearing in mind everything he said, the Combiner Wars one on the left, I already previously stated that one for all intents and purposes is modded. The figure is altered, but even then, I, flat out, if you guys didn't already know, if I didn't already reveal it in a future video or a video I've already uploaded, the Siege one kills this hands down. Just the Siege Magnus, it looks so much better, it feels better, plays along better. The only thing that I'm going to have to give to the Combiner Wars version is, especially with the Core Magnus, he kills it with the vehicle mode. Because he literally looks like the original toy in vehicle mode, to whereas the Siege one took more of a creative liberty and gave us the Robots in Disguise Ultra Magnus vehicle mode.
Okay.
So, with that said, I'm only going to remove this one. We're going to move him over to the right, and then we're going to bring in, for a direct comparison as far as who wears this mold the absolute best, Siege Leader Class Galaxy Upgrade Optimus Prime. I don't think I have the heels flipped out. Nope, I don't. I have not reviewed this figure yet. I probably should. There we go. Now he's standing up better. Okay. So, from a visual standpoint, who looks better?
Once again, going for the right, because in this case, this is like the fulfillment of what the Combiner Wars should have been. You know, it's the fact that, yes, again, we have a lot more room to put detail in place, but here they take advantage of it. You see, obviously, he's got very nice spec attachments, and not just on his back, but also on his legs here. Those were looking pretty good. And all around, if, you know, you give him the 360, I like the little emphasis there on his heels. That's a good touch. It's just, so again, more of just, they had more room to work with detail, and they used it well here.
Alright, so now, I'm going to show a few figures, and we're going to just, he's just going to pick it apart, but at the same time, we're going to see if he can tell a thing or two about this. Specifically by the way it's just made in general. So here is Titan's Return Deluxe Class Perceptor. Here is Titan's Return Deluxe Class Cup, which I believe I reviewed both these figures. That's always been an issue with Perceptor. There we go. Cup. Oh, I know you were in here somewhere. Well, okay. He technically counts towards this, so we're going to put him in there. Power of the Primes Deluxe Wreck-Gar. Because reasons. You were just in here. There you are. Titan's Return Deluxe Hot Rod with the Siege Battlemaster Fire Drive, whom I am dubbing Firebolt because that's his original name. And for the sake of it, Leader Magnus again. Generations Thrilling 30. The fact that I said that probably gave it away to non-casuals. Voyager Springer. And there should be one more. There should be one more. There she is. Deluxe RC. Thrilling 30 RC, I believe. So basically, the question here is, do you feel these figures were meant to go together as a set?
I feel more so the first 5 in front could work as a set. I'm not sure about the 2 in the back. Just purely in terms of size.
Oh wait, there is one more I forgot. Blur. Time to turn Blur.
All right, so now the first 6 in front, yes, could conceivably work together as a set. Not sure about the last 2, just again purely from a size basis.
Well, believe it or not, in 1986, the first Transformers movie ever, basically, if I were to change this guy out and put making a grand return from the first video, the Power of the Prime's leader figure, just kind of get them all bunched up right there. Does that help get across that these guys are, that all of them there are supposed to be a complete set?
Yep, funny enough it does.
The entirety of why this set is so popular amongst fan bases who actually aren't clinically insane is in the original 1986 movie, all these characters were basically the main Autobot cast. Magnus, Springer, Blur, Cup, Wreck-Gar, Perceptor, RC, and Rodimus. Rodimus didn't show up till the very end, but, you know, I'm not getting into that. So, yeah. So you could technically say that regardless of which version you put there, they all are meant to go as a set. So that's all of them. We're gonna do this whole they belong as a set thing again, but it's not gonna be nearly as cluttered. And we're actually gonna go one figure at a time. So first things first, we're gonna go with Titans Return Deluxe Twin Twist.
That's it's definitely an ambitious color palette, but it does seem just a tiny bit flat. I do like his specs though.
Specs meaning.
Oh, his weapons and part of his guard.
Oh, gotcha. I had the other one here. Where the fuck did he go? He was here, but now I can't seem to. There he is. Here he is next to Titans Return Top Spin.
Okay, I can definitely see, truly on a color scheme basis and weapons basis, how these two go together. Though once again, I'll go for the one on the right.
What can you tell? These two are meant to go together.
Oh yeah, no, here it's more obvious because their color schemes are complementary. They're just basically palette swaps of one another.
Alright. Same idea. But now you're going to do that with this guy, who is honestly one of my favorite figures from the Titans Return lineup.
I can see why.
Trigger happy.
Yeah, I really like his design overall. I mean, obviously it fits in line with his name, bit of a pun, but it feels natural. It's not just an abuse of the pun. Like his whole setup is just very appealing.
Now that said, keep taking him off and bringing this guy in. This is Titans Return Deluxe Misfire.
His design is nice, but the color is an interesting choice. I'm especially not sure how I feel about the fact that we have a full pink body combined with a gray and blue gun. That just feels like an odd mash.
That odd mash is actually direct from the original toy, so that's just kind of how they chose to do it. So it's hard to argue.
Yeah.
Now, with that said, we're gonna get Misfire out of there, and we're gonna bring in. I keep wanting to call him Caliber. Slugslinger. There we go. I always forget his name, but yeah, there we go. Slugslinger.
This is another good design. This is one where they use a blocky build to a good effect because he's a lot smaller. It feels more well integrated, really. I like his weapons. The wings in the back are a nice touch. I like the missiles too. That's a good build.
All right. Now, look at all three of them together.
Mm-hmm.
Is it obvious they are meant to go together?
Oh yeah, yeah. All the emphasis on the firearms for each one definitely gives that away, along with the fact that they either share missile build or wing build.
All right, now, me personally, I feel it's pretty obvious of the three of them who is like just hands down the best looking one.
Oh,
but
yeah.
in your eyes, who's the one that your eyes would catch to the most?
In order of best to worst, best, middle, worst.
I figured you'd say that. Alright, now, we're going to have a very interesting one come up. So, let's do this guy. This guy. Titans Return Deluxe Twinferno, who I'm dubbing as his original name, Double Cross.
Everything about him looks cool except the fact that his head seems too small for his body.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing with a lot of these.
This is the first time it's super noticeable, but yeah, other than that, his color palette and the wings and back are especially nice.
Alright, with that said, we're going to take him, move him over to the side, and we're going to take Titans Return New York Comic Con exclusive Grotusk.
Again, the wings do a lot of good. for these figures, and I like his I forget what kind of beast that is. That's supposed to be a lion or a.
I'm not gonna tell you what it is.
Alright, but it's...
Like, I'll show you what it is at some point, but just as of right now, just trust me.
Alright, I mean,
Don't even try to guess.
It's a good touch. It's a good touch, and this handles the pink color scheme a little better. It's a little more diverse.
Better than Misfire?
Yeah.
Okay.
Misfire.
Alright, now, the last one. The Prime Wars Trilogy Amazon exclusive Repugnus. Deluxe Repugnus.
Not to be mean, he looks like a misshapen Christmas tree.
So that's part of the can't even argue.
I mean, from the back, like, I think honestly, I like his backplate the most out of all his design because seriously, let's just hark some Herald Angels happy in this business.
Oh. Alright, well, with that said, let's put all three of them. Is it obvious that they are meant to go together?
It's more obvious that these two are meant to go together, rather than him as well.
Well, all three of them are actually meant to go together. This, I forgot to actually mention what the other ones are. Basically, Topspin and Twin Twist are the original jump starters. Trigger Happy, Slug Slinger, Misfire are the Decepticon Target Masters. The Trigger Cons, I want to say the word. Moving on. These three are the Monster Bots.
I can see
All
that.
three of them turn into a type of monster.
Yeah.
One makes sense that you can call it a monster. The other two, what? So yeah, when you're actually looking at them as a set, do they truly look as if they're meant to go?
Again, you know, you get more of that vibe from middle and right rather than left, but purely in terms of, you know, being monster bots, being able to take on that sort of animalistic thing, there it makes a little more general sense because obviously you got the wings in the mask, you got the beetle looking kind of backplate. So that alone at least lends a little more unity between the group. Within the group, I should say.
Alright. So with that said, so we're going to take these guys off, and this is going to be the last one. We're going to bring in a figure I personally really enjoy, but not a lot of people seem to like. Titans Return, Voyager class, Alpha Trion, who is a very popular character within the mythos for obvious reasons.
He's got a lot going on, and I like it. The red, purple, and gray is a great color scheme. His sword looks nice. It's a good throwback to the first three movies. The first three Michael Bay movies, anyway, in terms of Optimus's weapons. But yeah, I like his shoulder plates very much. That's a great detail, especially down here too. There's just a lot of good unity to the piece. I feel like it knows that it's got a lot of detail to work with, but it deliberately works to make it come together rather than just come at you in pieces.
How do you truly feel about the colors? Like, do the colors feel natural on this?
Yeah, I do think, like I said, the red, gray, and purple, that is a color scheme that feels complementary.
Okay, well, what if I told you the figure you see in front of you, this isn't what Japan got. Japan has been known to take figures like this and do some interesting things with them. They could have done another Alpha Trion to bore us, but they decided to go the route that I felt was proper. Legends, Leo Prime.
That too is a very nice complementary color scheme. And I do think, personally, like, in terms of the white gold versus purple silver, that's just a good I think palette awareness, if you're going to make two light colors pop against two dark colors. Shoulder plates are still pretty good. I do kind of prefer the other ones, but in terms of his weapons, I do prefer the build of his weapons more so than the first.
I feel it's night and day, but I'm more familiar with this stuff, so putting them next to each other, again, to me, it's night and day. I have my own reasons as to why I feel Leo Prime just looks so much better. But also bear in mind, I'm biased towards him. I am extremely biased towards him, and I will fully admit it.
Yeah, this time I'd have to break and go to the left. I just think there's more. There's a little more unity in all the details of design as opposed to Leo Prime. Not that Leo Prime is a bad figure, obviously he's got a lot of good going for him, but there are some parts that just feel slightly out of place. That would be my only.
That's a fair argument. So, with that said, let's change things up just a wee bit. So we're gonna leave out Tryon there. We're gonna take MP Prime, put him there. We're gonna take the two Siege figures. We're gonna put them here. Now deciding between these four, if you just so happen to be walking into a comic shop, a toy shop, or whatever the heck you guys are walking into, and you happen to see one of these four, just casually walking in, and you see these guys, who's the one you're gonna grab?
I'd surprise you. I still go MP Prime.
And that should emphasize how great MPs are. So with that said, that's gonna cut it for this. Do you have any final closing thoughts?
No.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. Be safe, stay nerdy, and get your geek on.